Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk about the Everything Everything movie. I actually saw the movie a week ago and I thought I would film a video talking about my review and just my overall opinion of it. So yeah, let's get into it. If you're unfamiliar with Everything Everything, it is actually based on the book of the same title written by Nicola Yoon. I listened to this book a couple years ago and really liked it, so I was excited for the movie. In full disclosure, I don't get super excited about book to movie adaptations anymore because a lot of the times they just don't do well. Of course, I am proven wrong and I am 100% glad to be proven wrong when they are done well, but for the majority of the time, I'm just like, oh, it's becoming a movie. I just hope they don't mess it up. And I'm very pleasantly surprised with the movie. I did overall enjoy it. Before I talk about the movie, I'm just going to tell you briefly what the book is about if you don't know what it is about. In this book, we follow the character Maddie. Maddie has skid disease, which is basically a disease where she's pretty much allergic to everything. Her immune system is very, very weak. It cannot fight off viruses like regular people's immune systems can. So she has been living in her house for 17 years. She's not left her house. Her mother is a doctor. She has all this state-of-the-art medical things like dehumidifiers and a lot of other medical supplies that I cannot even fathom to think of to help keep her safe and sterile and things like that. And Maddie has been pretty okay with living in this bubble, you know, within her house for the past 17 years. Then one day a family moves in next door with a cute boy named Ollie and they start talking, and of course that makes her think, you know, maybe I can leave the house, maybe I should leave the house, and it pretty much stems from there. It's basically about Maddie dealing with her disease as well as Maddie and Ollie's relationship. Overall, like I said, I did really enjoy the adaptation. I won't say it's the best adaptation I've ever seen, but I won't say it's the worst. It is not the worst by far. I did really enjoy it. I thought it was a really solid, I would say, book to movie adaptation. I love the actors that portrayed the characters. The actors that portrayed Maddie and Ollie I think were great. I forget their names. I know Nick Robinson was Ollie, and it was the girl that played Rue in Hunger Games played Maddie. And I think they both did great. They were just very cute, very just adorable. I felt they really connected with the characters and did an awesome job portraying them. Though I would have liked to see Ollie do more handstands and like skateboard tricks because I'm pretty sure he did that in the book, but I would have enjoyed seeing that more. I also love the cinematography. I thought the cinematography was beautiful. The way they shot it, everything about it was beautiful. I thought the music, like the soundtrack was amazing, and the score. They had a lot of like not soundtracky music, I guess you would say, but more original compositions within the movie, and I thought they were beautiful. I really thought it enhanced the movie. So I love both the cinematography and I love the music in it. They were both A+s for me in that regard. So enjoyed the creative liberties they took within this movie. I didn't think I was going to like them, honestly, but when I watched it, I fell in love with it. And what I'm talking about more specifically is the fact that throughout the whole book, really Maddie only talked via text, and I want to say they mostly talked on like iMessage and through the computer, but in the movie they talked through text. And the way they did it in the movie is they made Maddie and Ollie talk face to face within like the architecture that Maddie builds because she's in an architecture class. So within like her different buildings that she's modeled, they actually have their text conversations face to face, and I loved it. In addition with the astronaut, because she always puts an astronaut in each one of her models, I thought that was such a creative process of how to do it. I really enjoyed it. I love how they made it like a text conversation. Like they would back away and say ... You know how as an iMessage you hit that lingering ... while they're typing something, or sometimes they'll just say, you know, ellipses. And it's just, I love the way they did that. I thought it was unique and very interesting. I thought it added more depth to the scenes than rather it just being, you know, seeing them text. You know, we can only see so much how they text, you know, just them looking over their shoulder at a text. They made it much more in depth. They made it much more personal. They actually had more face-to-face scenes because of that. And I really love that creative liberty. I'd say that might be my favorite thing about the movie because I thought it was just so unique and I love the way the director did that. And one of the things I didn't like about this movie was the pacing. I did not enjoy the pacing. Sometimes I thought the pacing was very, very slow. Sometimes I think the pacing was kind of went fast and they could have elaborated things on more. But for the majority of the part, I found the movie kind of moving slow, but that's how it is. I felt the book, you know, it's kind of slow burning, I guess you could call it. Maybe, I don't know. It's been a while since I've read it, so forgive me. But the movie felt like kind of slow, but then when they got to certain scenes, I felt like they went like super fast through things. Like the Hawaii scenes were very, very fast, and I wish they were a little bit more elongated. But the other scenes I thought were kind of drawn out more. You get what I'm saying? So the pacing wasn't my favorite thing in the movie. It wasn't the worst pacing I've ever seen, but I wanted it a little bit faster, I guess. I love the romance between Maddie and Ollie. I thought it was just cute and just very teenagery, which is perfect because that is their age, and it was very awkward, honestly. Like, when Maddie and Ollie first meet face to face, it is straight up awkward, and I really enjoy that because I found that to be so realistic. It's very rare that when you meet somebody like face to face, it's just gonna be going straight into conversation like you knew each other. It's gonna take some time to get used to each other. It's gonna take some time to get to know each other. There's gonna be those awkward pauses and those like, you know, like, what do we talk about? What do we do? So, you know, it definitely made you feel awkward as a viewer. I was like, this is uncomfortable. But it was very realistic, and overall I thought it was really cute because it was so realistic, honestly. So I loved the way their romance progressed, and I think it's just an adorable romance. So I love the chemistry the two actors had. I thought it was spot on, and I could really believe that they were in love. So the romance, I thought it was great. Overall, before getting into spoilers, because I do want to talk maybe briefly about the spoilers, honestly, is that I really enjoyed this movie. Now, take this however way you want it to. This is gonna be a movie I only will watch probably once or twice more, honestly. I feel like this is not a movie for me personally. Everyone's got their own different opinions in how they watch movies. It's not a movie for me personally that I can just put on in the background and just go about my day or just, you know, sit down and watch a ton of times. It's just not one of those movies for me. It's got kind of that happy/sad vibes. And when it comes to those movies, it's like I watch them once and I don't ever want to watch them again because I don't ever have to go through that heartbreak again. If that makes any sense at all. So I'll probably watch this maybe once more and then I'll be like, I don't want to watch it again because it's got very much happy, cutesy moments, but it's also got sad moments and, you know, dealing with a lot of different things going on to it. So it's not a movie that I think I can binge a lot. So I just want to throw that out there in case you agree with me, in case you don't. Either way is totally okay. I thought the movie stayed pretty true to the book. Of course, there were some changes as well. You know, there's always going to be some changes when it comes to book to movie adaptations, but I thought it kept with the theme of the book, and I thought it stayed faithful to like the theme and the feeling of the book. If I could give this movie a rating, I would give it a 4 out of 5. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I won't say it's my favorite book to movie adaptation. There are some that I just really, really love. If you want me to do a video on my favorites, let me know. And there's some that I really, really do not like. And again, if you want me to do a video on those, let me know as well. Because, you know, there's so many book to movie adaptations now. Like every day I feel like I'm reading news about a different book becoming a movie or a show. And every time I don't get excited, I get very nervous is my first thing. I'm like, oh my goodness. Because if you think about it, you think you're taking a book that you may love and you're putting it on screen for everyone to see, and if the movie's bad, it's going to diminish your love for the book in some regard. It's happened to me before with books. So, you know, you gotta treat them like, you gotta treat them right. So, yeah. I thought it did really good as a book to movie adaptation. I do want to say the movie talks about SCID. Like I said, Maddie has the disease of SCID. Whether or not it is a truthful showing of SCID disease is something that I am not familiar with. I don't know if the book was a truthful depiction of SCID, nor do I know if the movie was a truthful depiction of SCID. I highly recommend you check out some reviews of people that they know firsthand or they know personally whether it was a truthful depiction within this disease or not. I will try to leave some reviews down below for you to check out, but like I said, I'm not sure 100% because I don't know much about this disease if it is a truthful and right depiction, if that makes any sense. So I just want to throw that out there for you in case you're wondering about that in that regard with the SCID disease and how it treats it, you know, within the book and within the movie. Moving on to spoilers now. So if you haven't read the book, probably don't watch anymore. The movie either, probably don't watch any further. If you don't care about being spoiled, go for it. One thing I wish they would elaborate more on is Ollie. I really loved Ollie, and I loved reading about his life and how he has a very struggled life with dealing with his father who moves from job to job, that can't keep a job, and how he abuses, you know, Ollie and his mom and things like that. I feel like the movie touched very briefly on it. Like we talked about it maybe 3 times at most. I feel like the book talked about it more, and I really wish we would have seen more of Ollie's perspective maybe, or just more about his home life in the movie. I think they could have done a lot more. They could have, you know, send a lot of messages to maybe kids that are going through the same thing in their own house within this movie. Like it could have been, you know, something positive. They could have taught kids more about it. So I do wish they would have elaborated on Ollie a little bit more in that regard, and because I just love Ollie and I wanted to see him fleshed out just a little bit more. I feel like Maddie was overall very fleshed out, but I wanted to see Ollie a little bit more fleshed out, like a little bit more in depth and things like that. One addition that was in the movie that I don't think was in the book was Ollie put photos all along her glass like wall of the ocean, and I don't think that was in the book, at least I don't remember, but so swoon worthy. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, the swoon factor is real, and I loved every second of it. So if that was not in the book, correct me if I'm wrong. I am not sure about that because it has been a couple of years, so of course my memory is foggy on that with the changes, but let me know. But either way, I love that scene. That might be my favorite scene just because I found it so cute and beautiful and swoon worthy. Like, yes. The big reveal of Maddie not having skids, I think, was done very well. You know, she got a phone call rather than getting a letter in the mail, which is how she figured out in the book. But the phone call made the movie, you know, much more realistic and had more of an effect than would have been just getting a letter, you know what I'm saying? And I love the fact that, you know, of course, Maddie's going through all these documents, trying to find these things, and she confronts her mom. She's like, where are all these documents saying I have this? And her mom seems generally confused, like, she must have them, I must have them. She is just in this constant state of denial, and she's just now realizing that maybe she doesn't have this. She made this whole thing up in her head. And, you know, one thing I do wish the movie would have also elaborated on is the fact that Maddie's mom getting help. You know, Maddie's mom has gone through a lot. She lost her husband. She lost her son. I cannot even fathom that. I have one child. And the fact, like, I think a lot of people think, you know, her mom's crazy, her mom's psycho, all these other things. Yes, she does have some problems, but being a mother myself, I can understand why she would do that. Now, I'm not saying it's right at all. It is definitely not right, you know, but being a mom and going through something like that so suddenly, and then, you know, having her daughter get sick, it can really jar you. It can really affect you a lot. So I think that what she did was 100% not okay, but like, I get it on a certain level, but then I don't get it. I'm very conflicted about it. Like, of course it was wrong. She needed help. And so I wish the movie would have shown that she was getting help, that she was going to, you know, go to therapy and talk to people about her feelings about all this, about her feelings of just, you know, being afraid for her family is what it boils down to, and, you know, just keeping her daughter locked up almost. But I just really wish they would elaborate on, but I thought the mom, the woman who portrayed the mom, did a beautiful job with that. I felt like her emotions were 100% on par. I really felt the way she felt, like she was shocked at herself, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe, you know, that I kind of made this up. So I really enjoyed that scene, but I wish they would have elaborated on it a little bit more. So those are all my thoughts and opinions on the Everything movie. If you have seen the movie or read the book, please let me know your thoughts and opinions on it. Do you think it was a good book to movie adaptation? Do you think it was bad? Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear what you think, and let me know if I missed any other differences, because I am sure that I did. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.